This is Channel Attitude. Your voice, your right, your freedom.
Hello everybody and welcome to the Smack Attack. I am your host Jimmy T. That is my co-host R to the B to the V, and we are live on Humming Media Group's YouTube channel and of course channelattitude.com after the fact. Rick, I've almost got a tear in my eye. Thank you for allowing me to be part of HMG, and I'm on the main event show right here, man. I'm on Smack. I'm in tears, bro. What a night it's been in London on SmackDown with obviously Punk crying, but we'll get to that when we get there. But what'd you think anyway? How you been, and what's cracking? More importantly,
well, let me pull up the chair here to the head of the table, right where I belong. Hey, the Smack Attack. If you're tuning in with us, you can't go wrong. That is right. It is a special Saturday. Oh, Daddy Delight. Hey, we've got a lot to chat about here on the Smack Attack. But hey, Jimmy, let me see here. My eyes deceiving me. You're not here talking with me about Smack Attack, but brother, you're supposed to be watching Collision right now so that you can get up bright and early for that AEW weekly review. Jimmy, oi, oi, oi. Man, you have got a lot on your plate for pro wrestling here in the next couple hours.
Oh boy, do we ever. And yes, you're right. I should be watching the Collision, but you know what? I'd rather be right here with you talking WWE SmackDown. I'll worry about Collision later on. I tend to watch Dynamite and Collision actually before I do the direct gauge with myself and the vet, which is of course tomorrow morning at 11 a.m. Eastern, by the way, right here on Humming Media Group's YouTube channel. But more importantly,
or anytime at Channel Attitude.
Exactly,
For the price of the awesome super sticker that we just got there from Scott Woodward, $5 gets you a monthly subscription over the Channel Attitude.
$5, literally. And Scotty, thank you once again, man. We hadn't even been 2 minutes in the show and you already gave us a super sticker. We love you, bro. Thank you very much, and we appreciate it. And of course, we got the biggest kappa in the building. It is. Wait, let me do this. I got to do this for him because there's a certain way.
He is the master and ruler of the world.
Zane motherfucking Vicious. He's the biggest troller and the master and ruler, apparently, of HMG. But he's saying I'm already lying. I don't know what I'm lying about, but I ain't lying. I'd rather be right here than watch Collision right now. Clearly, you'd rather be joining us too than watching AEW Collision, which is a good thing, and we appreciate that, of course. But Rick, oh, man. Also, I got to acknowledge one more thing. And he's got a question, actually. And it's our very own Chris Whelan, who loves sending in questions, Rick, on every show on this very platform. But he says, to those who may say that Jimmy Uso is out of shape, maybe Jay is too, Rick. What part of Samoa do you not comprehend? Maybe Big Jimmy's living his moniker to beef up and to take on the Gunthers, the Drews, etc. Does he have a point, Rick? Oh, I can't hear you suddenly, man.
I guess it's good if I unmute myself there, Mike. I had the sneeze guard on, but let's hold that thought. It is a good question. There's a lot to talk about there for Mr. Winland. We will talk about that when we get to our talking SmackDown and our bullet points from this week. A lot to break down as we get into that show, but as we do here on the newly formatted Smack Attack here, Jimmy, I know we've got some smack talk to get through. and people going crazy in dysfunctional families, things of that nature. Which one do you want to start with here? You want to go
you hit the nail on the head, Rick. I think we should start with a dysfunctional family, of a certain family that's actually, quite big in the world of professional wrestling. And I've got the video queued up right now. I don't know if you've seen it.
I've seen it there. Hey, we're talking about dysfunctional families. Hey, that's what we are here at HMG, one big old dysfunctional loving families. Hey, so show us some love. If you're out there right now, take a moment real quick. If you're on the YouTube, make sure you give us a like. We've got the comments there, but hey, take the link, copy that link, share it to your social media, let others that they should be joining us here for this Saturday night delight special here at YouTube, Hameen Media Group. But yes, there's a pro wrestling has more than one royal family, but I don't, when it comes to craziness, maybe we'll hold that for the back end of this, right? I've got an idea I'm going to ask you, Jimmy, but yeah, let's jump into this. Hogan knows best. A lot of heat for the Hulkster right now. And maybe this latest installment, very unexpected.
Yeah, well, so check this out. And I can't wait to get your thoughts. So get this. Can you hear that, by the way?
I can't hear it, but I know what she's saying.
All right. I don't know why there's no audio. Forget that for now, because I don't know why the audio.
Flash it up there again real quick, just for the graphic there, because the first time I seen it, Hameen had shared it with me. I thought she had been like brutally attacked and someone put cigars out on her face.
I don't want to laugh, bro, but she does look like someone buttered cigars,
right,
literally on her face. And to be fair, Rick, what's wrong with this woman? Why would you go on worldwide, social media and whatnot, looking like that? First of all.
Well, all right. So let's lead up through this. So obviously, the marks on her face there was some kind of botched Botox, right?
Yeah, apparently that's what she said.
That's what happened here. So in addition to that, she's obviously not looking her best right now. She's aging. She probably doesn't feel as attractive as she once was. She might not be dating anybody right now. I know she states in this thing she's afraid of relationships. At one point, she says that she's learning to enjoy living alone, which I don't necessarily believe if we are to believe her message here. She talks about plenty of shots there at the Hulkster, Terry, her husband, about being abusive, a sex addict, the problems in their marriage. Talks about how it's ultimately has alienated, her from her daughter, Brooke. So she does have somewhat of a relationship with Nick, still correct?
Yes, apparently he's a great boy.
Okay, so he's doing all right. He, everybody loves their son, even when they make mistakes. So we'll just forgive the vehicular manslaughter and the other problems that he's had. Dad's had to get him out of. But God. Brooke, from the Brooke side, she said, "What, they haven't talked like for 7 or 8 years." Brooke's gone out and got married, has had twins, and isn't talk to them about that at all.
Apparently not. I knew she had twins when she had twins. Funny enough, it came up a long time ago, but. Look, I'm going to be maybe a little controversial here, Rick. I'm going to just say it, fuck it, right? To me, after watching that yesterday and actually going through they've been going back and forth, actually, for the last 2 days between Brooke and Linda, the Belayers. And you know what's funny? I find it actually kind of hilarious that, one, I feel Linda is she was also saying how it's been nearly 20 years since her and Hogan have been together. And she's sad. She starts crying, and she doesn't understand why she's crying over their relationship being over. I'll tell you why, Rick. Because she's running out of the money. You know what I'm saying?
I don't necessarily.
I hate to be a prick, but that's what it is, dude.
He's still probably paying some sort of alimony there. So she's probably not that desperate in needs when it comes to financial. But she might be spending, going through that. The rest of the family's out of the limelight. I think it's more so. There could be some major financial issues, but I think more so than that, it is she became just like anyone else inside of this business. She just became a whore for the spotlight. And she has been moved so far away from that, especially, the lavish life of just being the wife of the biggest pro wrestler in the world and all those advantages, in where she had lived, that people would recognize her and how she would be treated like royalty in there. She had her own little 15 minutes of fame there, her own little slice of that celebrity pie with the reality show. No matter how you feel about it and how good or terrible, whatever the case might be, she still did have that fame. She remained in the limelight after that for a little bit. We saw her high profile relationships. As Professor says here, Nick was supplying his friends to his mom. She was dating someone that, that was of that age at the same time that we saw Hogan out, running around with people that were, I don't know if they were friends with Brooke, but they looked just like Brooke, that were in her age group. His second wife was quite a bit. I think his second wife was, quite a bit younger. Right now, what is he, 70? Hogan's 76, and he's married to like a 46-year-old, someone our age.
45-year-old he's married to.
Okay,
a 45-year-old crazy Christian woman, it seems.
Yeah, is she Christian or Scientology? I know he's been kind of, the Hawkster's been floating around. Whoever pays him, you pay him, he'll praise you. That's the Hawkster's deal. He's the ultimate worker. So when I look at this Linda thing, and I know a lot of people are like, for her to hit this rock bottom, to just at this breaking point where she needs to reach out like this, I think that the shoot becomes a work here. Or the work becomes a shoot. I'm not really sure which way this thing is actually operating, but I think it is. She wants that spotlight back. And right now, when you go out into public, the easiest way to grab that attention is inside of the crazy victim card. I mean, look at the likes that we've seen. Britney Spears has been like reinventing herself in the crazy victim card for how many years?
Her family, they fucked her up, dude, for real.
Okay, how does she let us know that? By her crazy ass dance videos, or where she's dressed kind of weird, but she almost like burn her cooch off the last video she was in.
Yeah, well, I saw a documentary about it. I haven't looked into it afterwards, obviously, but I know. Look, man, families are families. They say you can pick your friends, but you can't pick your family. That's true, right? And sometimes, unfortunately, family can do some stupid shit. Just like Brooke with what she said. She apparently was getting verbally abused from when she was, young all the way to pretty much her turning 18 apparently. And also not just verbally, but physically, even mentally. You know what I mean? And I believe Brooke. I think Brooke is the only sane one, dude, in this family, for real.
Well, Professor was over there asking about if Linda was remarried at some point. It looks like she was only married to Hogan from 83 to 2009. Actually, when the divorce went through, so they were separated, and she was with a gentleman named Charlie Hill from 08.
Right, he was 19, wasn't he?
Yes, yeah.
That's pedo shit, bro. I'm sorry, but that's fucking borderline. If you're in your freaking 60s, 70s,
man, that is like, back then she wasn't. I mean, she's only 65 right now. So there is. Yeah, so, and this is back in 2012, so you're talking over 10 years ago.
I don't know, man. I'll be looking at it like, settle down, woman.
No way, bro. Hey, you're 19. You got those young, good-looking studs. They're at their sex drive at that age, into their 20s. And on the flip side, those females at that point, her late 40s, early into her mid-50s, that's when Linda's at her prime. That's why you see those cougars out there on the hunt for these cubs, baby. They're looking for that young puppy chow.
That young puppy chow? God damn.
Yeah.
Well,
hey, man. Hey, I don't realize it's science, man. It is scientifically proven.
Well, yeah. The pheromones and all that. Of course, it's science, as a matter of fact. I just want to also welcome everyone's favorite coupon guy, Josh, TN Coupon himself. Like I've said multiple times, I'm going to say it again. If anyone wants any coupons and cheap deals in the Tennessee area, hit up Josh at TN Coupon on YouTube, man. He's got all sorts of videos about what's cheap and what's not, and where do you get coupons from and whatnot.
Well, bro, so, apparently he found a coupon for old Linda Hogan there.
Ooh,
getting that cigar Botox botch going on.
Oh, no. But I also want to thank one more person because it seems like a new person, as a matter of fact. Ashley Peralta Sabelos. Hello, Ashley. Thank you for joining us, as a matter of fact. I haven't seen you around, but stay tuned because you will love this show and every other show that we do right here on HMG and channelattitude.com. But look, man, It's an ugly situation. They're
Let
going
me
back
ask
and
you this,
forth.
because you know a little bit more on, because I've been busy at the track these last couple of days. I've been loosely keeping an eye on these developments, and you even told me today, like, man, we have got to lead in with this. There's so much going on. It's kind of blown up over the last 24 hours. I did see that Brooke had indicated that she was verbally abused. You mentioned physically. Did she give any exacts, or was she just talking very vaguely?
She didn't mention which parent it was. She didn't want to elaborate. She said, you can do the math. And that made me feel like she was leaning towards Linda, if you know what I mean. Because she was always close to Hogan, to be fair. Right? Obviously not now, but at some point she was always much closer to her dad. But get this, dude. Now Linda's threatening to actually sue her now because she denied all the allegations, right? And now she's threatening to sue her own friggin' daughter over this shit. And, Brooke has come out and said another, like, a whole bunch of stuff, which I haven't had the chance to read just yet.
So that even more to me speaks to, okay, when Linda's saying a few things that she brings up inside of this video. So how she wants the family back, how she's been trying to reach out to Terry, to the Hulkster, about doing the things to get them together. So one, that means if that's true, was she interfering and trying to interfere in Hulkster's other marriages, his other relationships?
Who knows, dude?
And now, if she immediately, without hesitation, pulls the trigger and now is threatening, countersuits or legal ramifications against her daughter for making these statements, where does that show you that she sincerely wants to reunite and fix things with her family?
Exactly. You took the words out of my mouth. I was going to say the same thing. I was going to say, if you really cared about your daughter and you really want to, get back together as a family, per se, except for Hogan, of course, or reconcile with your daughter, you don't threaten friggin', to sue your own damn daughter, man. Why? What do you got to hide? You know what I'm saying? Like, look, there's no reason for Brooke to be lying, dude, in my opinion. She's got her own family now. She's married to
She's trying to stay, get out of the spotlight and all this, especially everything that was surrounded around her with her dad's racial issues here. I mean, it was her dating a black gentleman that first brought, with Hulkster dropping the N-bomb.
Right.
So she's involved there. She's seen how much of a mess this is. She's worked inside professional wrestling. She's probably learned just how carny and disgusting of a business this absolutely can be, especially when you're operating at that level.
Absolutely.
Again, I think, to me, a rational person. So one, Linda could just be batshit crazy, or two, she could be that, but inside of that, this is how she knows how to respond by trying to be a carny worker. If she really felt that she needed to go public in this sense, that she cannot get a hold of Brooke, it should have been a heartfelt, sincere to Brooke. I've had some hard times right now. I am not there. I am at rock bottom. What hurts the most is that I don't have Brooke, that I do not have my daughter, that I do not have access to my grandchildren. If there's issues, Brooke, please reach out to me. Please get in touch with me. Let's get through these together. We can get professional help to get us back together, mother and daughter. There really was no reason to involve Hulk Hogan in this and take the cheap shots at him, because everyone can do that right now. That was a huge indication to me. She's trying to play a victim card and hop on a train that everybody is riding into the ground, and that is hate on the Hulkster right now.
I agree, man. I agree. And for most part, look, Hogan's no saint, all right? We can all acknowledge that. But
Professor, I don't know if it would make a dark side of the ring, but someone is going to jump on that. And, this could go with a mini series for her where she's telling her story, her side of this thing, maybe a book release of all things. Hating on Hogan is hot right now for what, better or worse.
Oh, absolutely. Sorry, my phone was just ringing there, but it's all good. Yeah, and like Professor said, nothing there for Linda.
Tell your mom to stop calling you when you're on the air.
That was before, yeah. Now my uncle's calling me for some weird reason. But anyway,
because you won't answer the phone for your damn mom.
Well, I said I've got a show to do. But anyway, in saying that,
they're going to be dropping videos in 8 years. Jimmy won't answer my calls.
I haven't actually seen my folks for a few weeks, man. So they're probably thinking, yeah, you all right? Is everything cool and shit? I think I'm due. Maybe I'll go and see him today. But anyway, Don't worry about my family. We're talking about this family, the Hogans, the Belayers, whatever you want to say. And like that professor says, that's the new one now. We call him that professor. TikTok's Dark Side of the Ring interviews, all sorts. She's going to come out and say, well, she also said he's a sex addict. The Hulkster brother still running wild in bed.
Yeah, I don't know what that has to do with anything. Unless she's trying to just lay the groundwork to tell us about, multiple affairs. But I don't think that's going to surprise anybody, especially from that era of professional wrestlers that, oh my God, those guys weren't faithful.
I know. Just tell me about it. I just want to welcome Labrat. Labrat, what are they testing on you today other than Bearcats? What I want to know is, are they testing Linda Hogan on you, man? Because if so, how's the testing going there? Because it looked like you said earlier, someone butted not just a cigarette, but a damn Cuban cigar on her face on both sides.
I don't know. But maybe Hogan's other lover. I mean, she looked like Brutus when he got hit by that Sea-Doo or whatever the hell hit him.
Jesus. That deserves a... Oh, you can't hear it. Doesn't matter because I got it down, but it was one of these ones. We'll just do that. But anyway, Zane says somehow being a sex addict's a bad thing. I know, right? Is there such a thing? Really? Doesn't everybody love freaking sex?
But Melinda should be craving it right now. She's in that prime, so she's out there looking for it. She's hunting for it.
Are you sure about that? Wouldn't she be like having menopause at this point?
Man, that's when they get hot, man. They get that cougar heat.
God, that's some cougar heat. That could be some fish heat over there. But anyway, that's not here or there. Anyway, the point is, it's a mess in the Belair family. Hogan is doing his own thing and not even getting involved. Like she said, he's got his beer, the All-American beer, whatever it's called. He's got a new wife. He's a born-again Christian or is a Scientologist. I have no idea. But he's religious now, brother. And that's all that matters. Yeah, exactly, Zane. She'd be past menopause, probably. And
maybe that's why. That's why she's breaking down. She's getting all dried up and her bank account, her cooch, all of it. Everything's drying up.
And like Mike Roach says, Linda Hogan drier than the Sierra. God damn, dude.
It's getting a little dry in here, so I'm going to reach for my blue brand Gatorade.
Oh, shit. Oh, man. Blue brand Gatorade. I like it. Anyway, enough of Linda, but also...
Yeah, I think we're talking about the Hogan family, how dysfunctional they are. Well, let's switch gears here real quick. Let's talk about another major dysfunctional family in professional wrestling, and that is Saraya, aka Paige. Some news about her. I know we talked about you should be watching some AEW right now, getting ready for Wreckage. Some of the big news that Saraya has announced that she has parted ways. Her contract expired. She is out the door with AEW. But she is an author now. I'm fucking Arthur. So hold on a minute. Hold on. Did she? The rest of this thing leads me to believe. I can't believe it. Book is out now. Audio version is also out. I'm sobbing this morning. Can't believe it's finally here. Hold on. Is this an actual? At first, when I saw this, is it an actual book or is she fucking a guy named Arthur?
For that one.
Yes. So
I have no idea. It could be both.
Right. Oh, that's what the book could be about.
Well, it says Howling Boots.
Well, and, we had Paige, as The Rock put together, we had the $7 that released a movie based around her life there. Did you get to see that? Or would you be interested in reading this book to hear about Paige's adventures in professional wrestling and life?
I mean, look, her family's very Carny. I mean, she's grown up in professional wrestling, as a matter of fact. Her whole family are pretty much wrestlers. I guess that part's a bit interesting, but it's just a typical story. I already know a lot about her. I guess it's got to be the raunchy stuff that she talks about, Alberto Del Rio, for example.
That's what I want to see, how honest she gets, and maybe how some of the scandals she's been involved in, how they affected her life, how they've helped her grow. I think there might be some from all aspects, some good reading inside there. Like as you said, I mean, she comes from an ultimate Carny family. Pierce was just talking on a Friday at locker room that he had an interview with her dad, and immediately during the interview, it was like, "This is like the most Carny as fuck thing I've ever been a part of." You know, her mom's in the business. Paige herself broke in at what, like 13, 14 years old, learning the craft.
Even younger, dude. As a matter of fact, she was in her mom's.
In her mom's. Did you freeze up again? Did you get your weekly freeze up here? It is the Smack Attack freeze moment of the week for Jimmy T when one of his computers shut down. So
no, that's right. It was just the internet then, for whatever reason.
All right, so you always hit the freeze frame. It's just part of the show now. It's part of our new format.
Only this show it's happening, man.
Right? That's what I'm saying,
bro.
So she got her book out. She is part of ways with AEW. Would you like to see Paige back with WWE? She's talked about how she would be open to a return to the big company.
Look, man, is she any value to WWE right now, to be fair?
I think there is. She strikes interest anywhere she goes. There is something about her. She has a nice it factor. It is going to be, I mean, obviously it's not going to be in ring, but you know, she could be a valuable asset in many different ways here for the company and promotion. Maybe just pairing her up with some younger talents, things like that. So I think there could be. It's just got to be the right situation. If I'm WWE, I'm not maybe immediately jumping all over. I say, you know what, we've got your number. If something comes up in discussions, yeah, we'll keep you in mind.
Well, one thing's for sure, Rick, she's not going to get cleared to get back in the ring in WWE. No way.
Yeah, they cleared Edge.
And
his was far worse than hers.
But he had how many years off though? When you think about it, plus, didn't he have a new surgery? Like technology changed.
But she showed. She went and got cleared herself. She's shown. She went and competed. She's wrestled the last couple of years in AEW. It's been a while, but that's just kind of their format. You know, once you kind of the luster wears off, they move on. But she's had some things going on. Now, hey, here's the big thing though that I'm taking from this. Our question of our support here for Saraya is up in the air. I was glad to see, but a bit puzzled by someone that really did reach out and is supporting her. If you can throw up the Gabby support.
Oh God.
Yeah, Gabby Tuft, formerly Tyler Reeks, correct?
Yes.
Yes. Author and an amazing soul. So excited to read this. My initial thought was, you know, I think it's great. The girls are sticking together, workers supporting workers. But isn't it funny? Paige is pretty much acknowledged, recognized, celebrated for being able to handle multiple dicks. But Gabby Tuft couldn't even cope with her own dick. Two completely different sides of the spectrum here coming together, opposites attract and supporting one another. That's what I love to see in the business.
Oh my God. That's
and just like Gabby, you can cut out her tweet from the screen.
Oh my God. Rick with the bang. Literally. I'm not talking about DDP. I didn't even expect you. I wanted to go there so bad, but you went there, so
hey.
But Gabby,
right.
I mean, who handles more dicks these days? I mean,
all right, ready?
I'm ready.
Fuck, marry, kill.
Oh no.
Linda Hogan, Paige, Gabby.
Dude,
come on, dude. Hey, don't I know I'm not trying to set you up. I'm not trying to put on a pedestal for Zane to point out that you're a homophobe or anything like that. All right, I got a serious question for you. You know, we were talking about, you know, we let it, you know, pro wrestling has more than one royal family. Who is the most dysfunctional family in professional wrestling?
That's a good question, actually. Wow.
All right, so chat, give it to us here. Who's the most dysfunctional family in professional wrestling? We talked about two here. Paige's family was her. What is her? Bevis, the Bevis family. You got the Hogans.
You got the McMahons.
The McMahons. That might take the Flairs. Rick and Charlotte.
Ooh, that's another. Ew.
David's had some demons there. You know.
What else is pretty bad? Actually, the families are. Oh man, the
Maybe-
Hearts. The Hearts,
Yeah, they've had some stuff. I don't know if I'm going to put them up there near the top for this month show, but they've got a lot going on.
Yeah, but
How
there's
about
a lot went on though too. I mean, think of Diana Hart.
Jake the Snake's family?
I think that's more Jake though. To be fair.
No, I was more of his dad.
Oh no, yeah, true. He married his sister or his mom, his daughter.
Yeah, like
I don't know
his
what it
daughter or
is.
something.
Is it his mother and his sister and his auntie?
Oh,
I have no
hold
idea.
on. Zane does have a good point there with the Hearts because we got the Teddy wild card in there that could help him out.
And the cats. And the cats. I mean, Teddy keeping that alive. I mean, that's true. I mean, there's got to be more in there. What else is bad?
That could be a fun just mini podcast series, just counting down and discussing the most dysfunctional families in professional wrestling.
Well, that professor has actually hit the nail on the head.
Deaths, yes. But I mean, I'm talking about overall just flat out craziness. Shit we're going to see on Jerry Springer, TMZ.
All right. Let's be fair here, man.
Absolute train wrecks.
Really, the Jake and Grizzly.
That's pretty bad. That one might be.
That's the worst you can get, man. Like that is absolutely, the whole story of that is just messed.
Isn't like, and I know that they're not like known for their craziness, but wasn't like Ron Houston, Jake's brother, and I think there's like a female in there as well.
And his sister. What's her name again? Rockin' Robin.
Yes.
That's his sister too. Who would have thought? But yeah, Mark, what's it called? What's his first name again? You just said it. As in his brother, Houston. Ron Houston. I didn't even know they were brothers, man. Like, you know what I mean? Like back in the day, or his sister, to be fair. But like Zane said, the Von Erichs is just tragic circumstances. That just seemed cursed. The McMahons are right up there too, but in terms of just fucked up, you got to give it to the Smiths. If you know what I mean.
We will get a poll, or we'll come back in. Maybe we'll do a special Smack Attack where we run down the most dysfunctional families in professional wrestling.
That's a good one, Rick. I like
maybe
that.
We'll
We
get a
should
round
actually do a show about that one day.
Yes.
Yeah, definitely. That's just fucked up, man. But I'm sure there's more that we're missing, though, man. There's got to be a couple more.
We got to have a little time to think on it. But speaking of shows, Jimmy, why don't we roll on with our shows here, the Smack Attack, and get to the main course? Why we're here to talk a little Bluey brand. This week's.
Man, you Americans know more about Bluey than I do, that's for sure. I'm surprised at how big that damn show is. I didn't even know it was a girl until recently.
Yeah, I just like within the last year found that out. that Bluey was a girl. I just always assumed. I know it's an animated dog, so I couldn't check out its genitals or anything like that.
I was gonna call it Blowy, but I better not. But anyway, yeah, we do come from London, the O2 Arena for SmackDown.
A big spot for professional wrestling, especially on that side of the drink there. Hot spot for WWE. We're on these tours, so they want to come big time when they're in these spots over there at London. Yeah, Jimmy, overall, man, I know you just got kind of wrapped up here. I watched it twice this weekend, just trying to get some different things because I was I had it on while I was in the tower calling racing. So I'm trying. That's what I told you. Like I was overwhelmed at times. I had SmackDown on. I was trying to grab my notes. I was pausing it here and there, and I'm looking at the screen calling the racing. So I guess I shouldn't say that. Nah, no one from the track's listening to this, so we're all right there.
I hope not.
What was your initial feeling, your initial thoughts after watching this week's SmackDown?
Well, let me ask you this: were you watching wrestling, or was this like a concert of sorts?
Yeah. Oh my God! I mean, endless chance. You know, when we open up this week's show. And it's basically a 25-minute segment with about 15 to 17 minutes of singing.
Yeah. As a matter of fact, I don't know if you know the song and what it's because that song that while they're singing Cody Rhodes and of course Roman Reigns, that's actually a famous song that was actually from England. and it's called. Have you heard of the song? Remember the song "Daddy, Daddy Cool, Daddy,
No,
Daddy
no.
Cool"? Yeah, it was big in Europe, and that's why in Europe they were
That's
doing it. It was
why.
big here
That's
too.
why I've never heard of it, because I'm American and we don't give a shit about that kind of stuff.
I know that's, and I knew it too. But in the 70s, it came out, this song, and they love this friggin' song in Europe, man. They keep singing it along. It's also a soccer chant, funny enough, or football chant. And I say football, I'm talking about European football. And but anyway, they were singing Cody Rhodes. They were doing it all night. He was just sitting there. Heck, I must admit, he seemed kind of fed up by it too. It's like he just wanted it to sort of move on, but they wouldn't allow him. Anyway, he's just thanking the fans and blah, blah, blah. Then we get Randy Orton coming out.
And this is a perfect setup for him. Let me ask you this, Chris. Laprad brings this up. I think it's a good conversation point before we jump into actual the show here. Says this was a great commercial for fans to come see the shows in person.
That's a good point.
I guess a little bit. You're showing the fan interaction. I like how they do some of the other things that they kind of implemented into the shows of since the move to USA. I like the fan sign of the night. They are embracing more showing people into the crowd, which they got away from for so long, which which made the Attitude Era so great, was that fan involvement, the intensity inside of the buildings. So I do see where that could be a little bit of an attraction for fans. I think it's real big when they're going to advertisers who don't necessarily understand what professional wrestling is, who mainly, it is hard to sell sponsorships in professional wrestling no matter what level you're on. We all know that. We've heard, the main reason that it was such a failure with Fox, it wasn't necessarily they were coming in short on numbers, which they were, but it was that Fox couldn't sell that higher tier advertising that they were for the other sports that they had under their banner.
Right, but what were they expecting, to be honest? You know what I mean?
Well, because you got these great pitchmen, these con men, these carny SOBs inside of professional wrestling that sold this not up to par bill of goods to these network heads that have no idea about professional wrestling. And that's really what you do. I mean, I do that on a level for the indie scale. It is to go in there. One of the things that we've always done with my shows, and if we had poor gates, and you have people that, you only had 50 to 75, 100 people there. Well, guess what? We weren't losing money. We only lost money on maybe like one show because we were so good at going out and soliciting. To me, sponsors was a dirty word. We never used that. It was business to business networking and developing partnerships, putting our marketing team together for them so that we could make sure they were getting a bang for the buck on their return on investment. So when you go in there and you sell professional wrestling, you can get them to make sure that they feel it deep down in just not their hearts, but in their souls. They're going to want to partner with you. Yes.
I see what you did there, by the way.
Get them to, you have to sell your soul to get them to buy into this thing. And that's what it's about. And
you're right.
With different ways you can do that. So for WWE right now, when they're putting together packages and you show fan involvement compared to some of these other struggling major sports, that aren't as interactive, it's a great visual for them.
Although, Rick, I think the professors actually hit the nail on the head, because let's be honest, dude, it has to do with all this. Because you know how ultra right really WWE is. I mean, you know what I mean? They're pretty much more on the right side of politics, if you know what I mean. And like the professor said, Fox couldn't sell to liberal snowflake companies. He's not lying.
Well, I mean, no, because but they were trying to sell those programming slots to the same companies that they're working with. Now, professors over with the NBA, and they can stroke off the liberal snowflake companies all day because it's relatable to their league.
That's true, but politics does have a lot to do with. I mean, they promote. It's no secret how they feel about Trump, for example. You know what I mean? And I bet you that leaves a bad taste, in the liberals' mouths, if you know what I'm saying. And AEW, for example, was a total left sort of run company, if you know what I'm saying. that's why we've got this divide too, in many ways, with the fan base, which is, but yeah. What's so funny that I'm from Melbourne? I don't get it.
Hey, when it comes down to it, these advertisers and all of that, they want return on their investment. They want bang for the buck. They don't care where you're voting because they're going to be able to manipulate any political side that's going on there.
I know, but there's some truth to that, man, in my opinion. And like Josh says in the chat, the WNBA is a write-off for the NBA, pretty much. I mean, it's just it's a tax write-off, like you're saying. But there was one more thing I wanted to bring up. Oh yeah, and the professor reminded me, and luckily I had this stuff teed up for this show before we actually get into SmackDown.
Oh,
because we need to touch up on something, Rick. As a matter of fact, where is it? Here we go. What the hell is this shit, dude?
Oh, for the meet and greets. I don't think. Why is anybody surprised by this thing? These are, again, this is on the cheap end.
Oh, the cheap end. Would you pay $500? Let's be honest.
No, I'm not paying any of these. I think it's completely ridiculous that these are options here, and this is what they're expecting. I don't think it's that they put it out there. Obviously, they are out there. They've done some market research, and they've got people buying these things. So right now, it might not be about quantity. It's about raising that price to make sure they can get their numbers up. It's about that quantity, not the asses in the seats. I mean, these are relatively low meet and greet numbers as opposed to for the Hall of Fame, where it starts at $8,500 before you upgrade to the different perks. You get Triple H, you get Lex Luger, and you get Michelle McCool, plus drink packages. And you might be able to sit hard cam at the Hall of Fame.
Ooh.
Yeah. Well, you've also got out there, they've got a $25,000 for a luncheon with John Cena. And that's limited, to X amount. But here's the thing, though. There are people out there buying this. Now, to me, it's their money. It doesn't affect my life in any way.
Wow. I mean, seriously, dude. I mean, Bianca Belair is good value for money. Not really. But compared to everyone else, I mean, shit. And I get it, right? And they're milking it. And in some ways, it's the fans' fault too, man. You know what I mean? Like, the fans are all eating this shit up. So, like, why not make the money? As the professor, as Josh said, it's all about the money, as Vince would say. But the professor also brings up an interesting point once again, because he is that professor. But he says, let's not forget certain dirt sheet shields stated a fan base watching AEW that was rich with expendable income. Now, money is an issue now. I mean, he's not wrong.
Well, I'm looking up here. You've got just a handful of these WWE superstars you can do meet and greets during WrestleMania. They have got a rundown. Plenty of options for different parties, things like that are going on. The week after WrestleMania, up the road from me in Indianapolis, Indiana, home of the Colts and the Pacers. Squared Circle Expo 5 is going on. One of the masterminds behind that actually was on the Monday Locker Room with me a month or so ago.
I saw that.
Talking about this thing. This is the best fan expo in the Midwest. I mean, it truly is a celebration of professional wrestling. They have over 100 past, present, hell, even some of that you never know who you might meet from the future, because there's a lot of indie workers that are going to be just at the show enjoying the celebration. But they've got names like Bret Hart, the Hurt Syndicate, Mick Foley. It's a who's who. I'm just looking at the screen here. JR is going to be there. Their champ is Nick Nemeth, Hendry, Swerve, Kurt Angle. As I said, their marquee guy is Bret Hart. They've got Ospreay, who's going to be coming in just for the Friday night. Their ticket packages run, and they have a huge show on Saturday that you can attend. They got free things you can get into once you get through the door. But their packages run from $25 to $240 to get you in. And then there also, I think there are some tickets for some Denton meet and greets. But that's a major price difference. And your bang for your buck as a fan, you're going to have a much better time at Squared Circle Expo than you are at the side hustle at WrestleMania.
Oh no, definitely. But you got to keep in mind that it is WrestleMania. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, it is the
Well, it's
pinnacle of
also
professional wrestling. You know?
right. I mean, this is the Super Bowl, the World Cup, the Olympics, if you will, of professional wrestling, and it
Absolutely.
is in one of the most priced, hyped towns in the world of Vegas.
Vegas, right? It's true, man. It's true, and everyone's going to lose their money. Let's be honest. Everyone's going to go gambling. Everyone's going to be pissed when they leave Mania.
That rat with a good point there. Hey, by all these other companies that used to try to run WrestleMania towns on WrestleMania weekend,
Oh yeah,
they're gonna be making shit because there's going to be anything left for these people to spend. And that has been
true.
one of the things that WWE's wanted to do is kind of run those shows out so that they are the only show in town.
Well, I mean, have they been piggybacking on WrestleMania like they used to these days?
I think it's something that's kind of faded out, and I don't know
It
if it's
has.
been like a backdoor thing where WWE's just shut down who can rent in the area, things like that, or WWE's just upped at what they're offering, price or not. I mean, there's a lot more activities and attractions. They've got the WWE World that's open for like the entire time. That they got the Super Shop that's there. You've got all these different meet and greets. There's WrestleMania parties every night that they just advertised on SmackDown this week.
Yeah, it looks very raunchy too, actually, Rick, for some weird reason, the after parties. Have you noticed it going very adult sort of orientated with everything, especially for this Mania, if that makes any sense? Like it seems very like, I don't know, those commercials that we saw during SmackDown, for example, seemed a little raunchy in many
Vegas,
ways,
baby.
the way they're promoting it. Sorry?
It's Vegas.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, exactly. It is Vegas. Zane wants to know, why doesn't HMG version of the show up on the feed? I have no idea, because it should be. I don't know why.
Better.
not.
I mean, where the hell is he watching us?
Yeah, I don't know. That's true. I mean, it could be the Twitch, it could be at the PWC network. It could be, I don't know.
No,
It
it's
could be
on.
anywhere.
It's on the HMG. I just went over there. I'm watching this right now on it.
Yeah, I don't know what you're talking about, Zane. It's there, bro. Check it out. Anyway, let's move on. The point is, it's expensive. It's a ripoff. You got to sell a house these days just to go to Mania. And maybe they learn their lesson with the way ticket sales are going. But the professor also says, I think the city and WWE make a deal. Right, there you go.
And there's not like easier spots that, for the travel into some of these bigger cities. With Vegas, you get out into the desert and all that, so it's not as easy to transport in. I know Louisiana's a bit that way. When they run Dallas, it's that way. So they are taking those steps. It makes sense that they want to protect their brand. It's their event. So,
and absolutely, Josh, sex does sell. Always has, always will. That's a fact. But also, Labrat says, well, Vegas isn't a place for kids. Cena behind Mania and said, fuck those kids.
There's a lot of family-friendly activities in Vegas now as well, so you can take the family.
There
out
is?
there. Yes.
Okay,
It's not the mobster Vegas.
Well, I'm sure it's there. I'm sure it's still in the in the darkness somewhere. But
hey,
anyway.
That's what I do. I just head out to see old Dennis at the Bunny Ranch. Watch
yeah. That's what Professor
watch my wrestling out there.
Well, anyway,
Talking about wrestling, let's talk about some Blue Brand wrestling. As you said, Jimmy, we are in London. We've got a few more stops on the European tour where we've got them on Raw. This is the final SmackDown from across the drink, and they're going to be running London right through a Monday. And as you kind of mentioned there, we do open things up with who is it? Oh, what's his name? Oh, Peter Pander, aka Cody Rhodes.
Peter Panther.
Not necessarily even meaningful to this show, but you got to get him out there because he's got that great song that you can sing along with. The fans absolutely love him. And so you got Cody out there. And here's what we do. We usually talk about, we've got a lot we focus in on that undercard. We look at the tag division, the women's division. We look at our main event, but we're going to tie Cody in here to our undercard because we got a lot of things in motion here. Again, I think we're starting to see some things make sense, where we've been talking about direction the last couple of weeks here, Jimmy. So maybe you're picking up some things, and maybe I'm seeing some different things. We can continue to try to make some sense of that. But we do have Cody out there. I think it was kind of, I kind of, double took over there when I saw Randy Orton was the interruption, the cue that we usually get, then it is okay. I get this for a moment because now we've got more sing along time for the crowd. So
Do
each
you
of
know I
these
hear
guys,
voices in my head?
yeah,
I
the
sing
nightmare,
voices in my head too, Rick.
the nightmare voices of
Yeah.
that accent from London. But yeah, Cody talked, or Cody went out there and he let them sing for 10 minutes before he talked.
He
Finally
tried to,
gets
yeah,
a
he tried to
little bit
push
out.
through it though, to be fair.
Gets a little bit of it out before Orton comes out, and they go for pretty much another 10 minutes here.
And he was getting annoyed too, to be fair. Also, he was trying to hush him up, but they just wouldn't stop because they all hear voices in their head, but they're not hearing Cody or Randy in the ring clearly. Yeah, look, it was just a whole bunch of sing along, but have no fear, Rick, because then we get a third player. Also,
I was say,
with a sing-along.
we don't get a whole lot here, so we have Orton say, telling Cody, hey,
He was
at
just
some
sucking.
point.
He
Well,
was
here's
Cody's
one thing
dick.
I
That's what he's
don't
doing.
like. I do not like about this with Randy Orton. Be Randy Orton. That's always what's great. Randy doesn't have to be a heel or a baby at this point because he just does what he wants to do. He is Randy Orton, but he loses that edge when, no pun intended,
And I was gonna say rated RKO he needs again.
when he is, it seems forced into pandering, being too much of the nice guy, waiting, giving the crowd their opportunities. The message, hey man, I'm coming for you. I'm not going to hit you in the balls, but he should have been in the Viper. He's like, but you might not know when I'm going to strike and when I'm going to bite. Then run
Right.
Drew out there. Again, I had it here in my notes. Wow, I mean, Drew and Orton that they set up here. They put it over on the commentary. This is a big match. This is a premium live event style matches we're going to get here from London. Big announcement to kick things off here. This entire segment, though, is, as we said, to play to that audience, to get those visuals, let them kind of have a lot of fun here. I think it just was a bit drawn out when we have got a lot of people on this roster. I know you and Bet were talking about it last week, that are looking for airtime, that could use something right now. Or we could start putting together a lot more for these undercard matches at WrestleMania, because, again, we got 2 nights to fill, and there's only a handful of things that we're really working on.
Yeah, no, you're right. Absolutely, you're right. But it's starting to really hit the business end too for the build to WrestleMania. The professor brings up another good point though, because there is some truth to it. This European tour has shown that the pettiness of American wrestling fans with their entitlement. I know what he's saying, because the Europeans suck it all up. You know what I mean?
No, I completely disagree with that statement, because it is great to see that enthusiasm. They love the spectacle. They don't get it as often as we do. So they want to savor that moment. But you know what it really reminds me of? Like going to the bar and you just want a beer, you want a cocktail, and you got one of these goddamn trick bartenders that want to flip the bottle around for like 10 minutes. Like, bro, I just want my Busch Light right now. I'm thirsty.
Yeah. Fuck these cocktail
Get to the
bullshit.
service.
Right.
You know what? I don't need flaming cocktails flying around. I just
Or
want my
flaming
goddamn
cocksuckers
Jägermeister.
No, you're right. You're right. It's spot on, dude. You hit the nail on the head. You're right. Absolutely, you're right. And that's true. But, the American fans, from what I've noticed lately in the recent times, they kind of hate, the crowd taking over. I don't know why. This is where I feel like fans are so fickle. Like, literally. I love atmosphere, man. I know you do too, Rick. You're one of the rare ones that actually, appreciates the way the fans are overseas. I remember you even said it about when they were in my neck of the woods for Elimination Chamber last year. You liked the way the fans were, but our fan base is more similar to yours. They're not as, they don't really sing along like the Europeans do, if you know what I mean.
There's times and places for it, but when it becomes over the top and it's over distracting, then we got to learn how to reel it back here a little bit. So we do get set up here. We do have, as we said, announced for this episode, big match. It is going to be Drew McIntyre versus Randy Orton, which I like this here. I outside of it just being 2 big hosses, great, 2 of the best in the world right now, heavyweights, heavy haymaker style performances from these guys. But we're starting that gear where we've got storylines now working within each other.
Right.
Two defined storylines, not kind of like the cluster we're going to be talking about here in a moment. But it's somewhere in here now. Because we've got Drew, who has got his sights set. He is destined for an encounter with Damian Priest at WrestleMania, a very personal program there.
Team Undertaker?
Yes. And Orton.
That's bad.
And Orton is going to be squaring off with KO in another very personal program that they've got going on. The match itself here, like I said, Haymaker City, big time heavyweight punches being thrown. I like the interaction with these guys. Sometimes when you do have those heavyweights, it's a little bit of trouble of finding a groove in there. But these guys are such great athletes that both of them can create the momentum and play off of that power game. Enjoyed the match inside of itself. But I think, we are each waiting for that involvement. And we kind of know who's going to kind of trigger that. It's KO who gets the distraction that allows Drew to hit the big Claymore and pick up the win over Orton. Which a little surprised that we did have a clean finish there. It was just thought maybe this thing would be thrown out, but we did see that later. But
they owed it to Drew in some ways, dude, to get a win at least in his not home country, but
a few things here that I do like. Instead of just throwing this match out, we'll go ahead and talk because we don't talk in the segments, we talk in the big talking points here.
Right.
So that allows Drew to get extra confident and cocky. Instead of just having the match thrown out where we're at an even playing field, as we see later on, Drew is very confident when he's exiting that building. And we got a great celebrity sighting here. Drew runs into Benny Hill on his way out. They have a little exchange.
Yeah.
And then Drew gets just caught. He gets busted. A cocky Drew just gets his ass handed to him by Damian Priest as he's exiting the building.
And as a matter of fact, he slams him on the car. It looked pretty painful, dude. That looked like real glass. Where does that sound familiar?
Glass in my eye. I got glass in my eye.
I got glass in my eye. Where's the doctor? I got glass. He was crying.
Hey, where's Drew from?
From Scotland.
Well, where at?
Glasgow.
Yeah, see, glass saw.
Hey, yeah, a good
glass
point.
In my eye, glass saw.
Absolutely, that's a great point. Good spot, actually. Yeah, so fake Undertaker, Team Undertaker, whatever you want to call him, slams him through the glass, and then he says, "Rest in peace," as he walks off.
I kind of liked it, the little Easter egg in there.
Yeah,
just
I know,
the smart ass rest in peace. But yeah, so we got that very confident Drew getting caught off guard. So we, in a quick moment, without having to do too much there, we get a big match. We get Priest furthering getting a little upper hand. Also on the other side of that, Orton, who is just being pushed further into just the madness again, wanting to kick KO's head off, as we almost see here, though. This just fuels that even more. Because KO actually cost him a match instead of just having the thing thrown out.
No, you're right. Spot on, man. I can't help but think that Orton and KO are going to end up joining only because, think about it, RKO, right?
Talked last week. I took it off. I know we talked last week, just about the need for the star power. We'll get to the tag division here. But why we're talking about the undercard here for the singles, maybe one that's starting to make a little bit more sense, but not necessarily. So we know the direction for Drew, Priest, for Orton, and Kevin Owens. We had another big fight, heavyweights going at it here, advertised going in. We knew we're going to get the U.S. champion L.A. Knight defending against the big SOB, Braun Strowman.
Yeah,
I thought these guys had a decent big man match. Braun's a little bit more difficult to work with because he can't really create all that movement, so that puts a little bit more on LA Knight. Thought they carried themselves through here. Now, this is where I like that they didn't duplicate these finishes because we do have that outside interference, these other working parts that are going on as Jacob Fatu on the attack going after Braun Strowman, who he's been very physical with in the last couple of weeks, giving Braun Strowman the win by DQ here.
Yeah, I like this though. I actually liked it because, man, Jacob Fatu is just so over right now, man. He's just, I mean, even though he's trying to be the heel, but is he really being a heel in some ways? I guess he's being a tweener.
He's a total dick. How's he not being a heel?
He's a dick, but at the same time, he's being a dick to everybody equally, including his own family and his own group. Do you know what I mean?
So that makes him a good guy? No, he is a
it
total
makes him
heel.
kind of a tweener, though, a little bit.
No, he ain't a tweener. He's just a dick. Yeah, that's what he is. He's
I
out
know,
for
man.
himself here. He's not doing anything of the
They've
anti-hero. He is out here.
He's just a
definitely
straight not
dick.
an anti-hero. But they have changed him since the fans have kind of been backing him a little bit. You know what I mean? I don't even like the fact that him and Solo are even turning on each other just yet. I think like they should sort of slow it down a little bit because I mean, it's pretty obvious what's going to happen at Mania. I think he's going to probably end up losing. I hope not, or he wins, and the bloodline, the new bloodline, whatever you want to call them, are going to end up jumping him or try to cost him the match one way or the other. I can just see that.
Well, and this is where it's starting to get more interesting because, as the last few weeks we've been keeping an eye on this and asking, is the U.S. Championship potentially that big cluster match? Is that where they were destined to head? As you had the champion LA Knight, you have Braun Strowman still involved in this. We've got Jacob Fatu. We have Solo Sikoa, and still inside this thing. We saw the bloodline a little bit, the disagreements, the boiling blood, if you will, as Solo was a little upset that Fatu didn't come to them, run this by him, that he acted on his own. The werewolf turning into the lone wolf there. So as you said, you've got that where we're questioning, okay, what's going to happen? Eventually, is something going to give, something going to absolutely break between these guys? So we still have these 4 talents featured in the U.S. Championship program. Now, we did question a few weeks ago about Shinsuke Nakamura, him eating that clean pin. We said last week could have been phasing him out. As we've heard rumors, he is, not long for this company. Also inside of this, where is Big Jim? What is Jimmy Uso going to have to do at WrestleMania? Because he has seen last week, he was left out of this kind of cluster for the U.S. Championship. He was involved in that tag. And now we've seen him fully become involved inside of what's happening over with his brother Jay and Gunther.
And you know what's sad about that? Is it just me, or does it feel like that Big Jim Uso, is becoming a more credible challenger to Gunther than Jay is? Is he stealing a little bit of the spotlight off his own brother, do you think? Because he's actually done pretty good in this little, program that he's doing with Gunther. I mean, he's doing what Jay should have been doing, if you know what I mean.
I don't know if that's necessarily true. I think with both of those right now, the less is more thing, and what they've been able to be so successful with is that they've always been there to balance with each other,
right?
To lift each other up. That's where they had that success. Maybe there was a pivot where they wanted Big Jim to be fully invested into the program here with the U.S. Championship and realize we need a little bit of that Uso swagger to help reignite fan interest in the World Championship.
Right, I mean, for sure. And you hit the nail on the head also. You said this wasn't going to main event, and it's clearly not because we already know what the main event, I assume, of night 1 is going to be. And we'll get to that when we do. But yeah, I just feel like Jay is sort of getting stale, dude, a little bit, leading into WrestleMania out of nowhere.
All right, so we'll see if this twist is going to give him that boost that he needs. Because a lot of people are talking about, that he is just a catchphrase. He is just an entrance, that he gets blown up during his promos. That his promos aren't really that aren't that great. And, and going back to the comment at the beginning about these guys' physiques a little bit.
Are people making a bigger deal than usual about their physiques, dude? Their physiques have been like that forever, dude.
It is. It is. I can't remember who said it. I apologize at the top of the show there. But said.
Oh, it was Chris Whelan, by the way. That said it.
Okay, so outside of Roman and Rock, even Rock in his wrestling days had trouble with his physique. Remember, Tits McGee had to wear a T-shirt for like 6 months because he had the pectoral surgery.
And that's a Samoan thing, dude. Actually, that's a Polynesian Islander thing. If they don't actually take care of themselves and exercise, they blow out like that, bro. They gain all that weight. Trust me, if they stop doing any sort of physical activities, they're going to become just like their dad. I guarantee it. They all do, man.
Right. It's across the board there.
Yeah, that's in their genes, dude.
So it is going to be interesting. So do you think if they shifted Big Jim out of this when it comes to the U.S. Championship, are we just maybe going to get a fatal 4-way? Or are they somehow going to get down to where it is just 2 of these guys squaring off? We're 3 weeks out. We're under a month away from WrestleMania.
Yeah, I don't know, man. It's a bit. I'm not sure where they're going to go with the US title yet. I think I don't know, man. I feel like they're still feeling, the waters a bit, if you know what I mean, to see if they should pivot that way or not. Do we have Big Jim maybe go into his brother's corner, you know what I mean? And like get involved in that match, if anything.
Yeah, so I mean, it is continue. We've got more of these wrinkles into the story that we can watch as it continues to unfold. We also know, as we're looking at the men's mid card, what's happening here. We're gonna have a potential big time player to introduce. He's going to be making his debut in WWE next week on SmackDown. Look forward to be talking about that. Rey Fénix is coming to WWE.
He's free, dude. He's finally going to make his debut next week. Are you excited for his debut? No one did the people really? Well, not that I heard. I don't think they had the arena in the background because I didn't hear any reaction. But are you excited for Rey Fénix right now? And he's going to be on SmackDown, it seems, but are they going to keep the brothers separated for now, you think?
It seems to be the direction. I was a little surprised on the thing that they wanted to get him moving this quick. I would have figured maybe a quick run through NXT just to generate some excitement.
He needs it, dude. I feel like Rey Fénix particularly actually does need it because he botches a lot, man.
Well, and, to learn to slow down a little bit. And I know Penta went right to Raw. Maybe try something different. With his brother. I was a little more surprised with the timing of this, unless they have plans for him at WrestleMania.
I would have waited for the Raw after Mania to debut him, man.
That's what I was just going to say, because use that as one of those big surprises, unless they just couldn't. But, they couldn't keep his brother's debut. They couldn't keep that cat in the bag, and they played into that. It's the worst kept secret.
Right.
But, this is a hard time of year to either get called up or make a debut with the company.
We'll see. Is he even going to get a Mania spot? And if so, would that give him heat, from the other competitors, in the locker room?
I don't know.
I can see people getting a bit upset.
I can see him getting upset, but maybe they shouldn't suck so much then.
Ooh, nice. Very nice. Zane Vicious says in the chat, where is it? There we go. Whoops. Yes, Jimmy, they're going to have a Dudley Survivor Series 2002 moment later. He's probably right. I can see it, man. It just feels that way. And he's talking about the Usos, obviously.
Usos one of the most decorated, celebrated, beloved tag teams of all time. I'll tell you what's none of those things right now is the current state of the Blue Brands tag team division. We do have on this show. We had advertised. It is the Street Profits defending the tag team gold against Pretty Deadly. My biggest takeaway from this one, and I think the more that we look at the other division, we've been kind of contemplating and debating where the big cluster is going to happen. But this one here, too, is a little different than what we've seen in the past few weeks. Biggest one here again.
Dude.
I feel after winning this belt, so we are 2 weeks after this, where there is no smoke, there is no fire. They have already just killed this rebirth of the Street Profits.
First of all, you know why? Because Pretty Deadly were working like they were big guys, bro. Tossing him around like they were nothing.
I'm not even that. Just on the entrance, we're back here to the dancing, the b-ball. the happy-go-lucky Street Profits. You know, they're getting that crowd hype. What made us fall back in love with these guys was those hot-ass promos that they were angry. And I said it last week, I'll say it again, angry black dudes sell.
Yeah, but you know what? They weren't pandering
from them. They were ready to change the game, take this division to the next level. And now they're just the same old, not going to stand out, mean nothing Street Profits.
Look, I think you're right. I agree with you. They weren't pandering to the crowd like they usually used to, and they got their heel theme song back, which is confusing because they go in between the other one and this one, and then they go back, and now they're back to this one. I have no idea, but you know what, man? I feel Montez looks like the heel, dude, whereas I don't know, man. Dawkins comes, he's always smiling, bro. He's smiling too much. Do you know what I mean? And I feel like now they're moving apart.
When they, I don't know. I hope for the state of that tag team division. I mean, now I'm not very interested in what they do right now. What they were doing a few weeks ago prior to winning that, finally, it seemed like they were taking the tag division seriously. There's a team there that is going to stand out, that can move things forward. Because we're not getting across the board here. I mean, you've got the energy just sucking leeches that are DIY. Every time they're on the screen, it's just, it's beyond pitiful.
Oh, please.
There was a complete swing and miss coming out of the batter's box from the Motor City Machine Guns.
The Mini City Machine Guns?
We've got the leftovers of the LWO that are in this mix and pretty deadly here. So again, as we said, this is probably going to end up in some kind of ladder match. But did I completely miss this? Because in the last couple of weeks, they've been somehow getting every team involved in the tag team segment. We didn't get that. It was just a match, correct?
Yeah, no, it was just a match. It was a clean match too.
So is this a way, as we get closer here with just a few weeks ago, to write pretty deadly out of this? They kind of got their moment as a hometown crowd. You come in a little hot here. In watching them work, I haven't paid a whole lot of attention to them. Obviously, what I know from them is listening to Next Level, kind of paid a little bit of attention to them in NXT, not paid so much attention to them on the main roster. You can tell they get it when they're working their regular plant spots that they've run through 100 times at the Performance Center. Right. But when it seems they get outside of that element, they got to adjust a little bit. There's just something that's off a little bit.
Well, good example. Like I said, in this match, they weren't your typical, tag team that we used to seeing them. Like, they were dead serious. And I get it. It is a tag team title match, right, for them. And they're at home. I just didn't like the way they were working, dude. I felt like they were working like big guys when they're not. You know what I mean? Like, there was times. Did you see that toss one of them did? I think it was Montez. Man, he went flying to the other side of the ring. Like, it just threw him. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it just doesn't look right. I don't like seeing two small guys tossing around two big guys like they're nothing. You know what I mean? And it was pretty much they could have won it by the way that they booked themselves to, it was pretty much 50-50 this match when you think about it. You know what I mean? They got their shit in. But now they're going to be nothing. They're going to be taken off television, like you said, probably. They're going to be doing, yes, boy. And that's it. But to be fair, though, they have had a bad run since getting onto the main roster, with one of them always being injured and always restarting and stopping and starting with these guys. But really, what the fuck is pretty deadly? They're good-looking guys that are deadly? Really? Are they really deadly? They're not fucking deadly.
Well, maybe you saw a little bit here that they were working a bit more to their size. That they showed that they can take some control, and maybe working the 50-50 will be the out to say, okay, maybe they deserve another opportunity to get them into this big entire division match.
Ah, man. Look, sorry, Chris, because I know you're a huge fan of theirs, right? But I don't know, man. I don't think I can take them serious anymore as challengers. WWE clearly don't take them seriously at all. Everyone's too small in this division, which actually lowers the Street Profits. I feel like everyone's bringing them down, dude, because they don't have any proper competition. Who's anyone remotely like at their level or their size right now in this tag division. Really, that's their size. Really, they should just walk all over this tag division every time.
Well, all right, that's it. We were hoping for more star power. Maybe they will. Not very interested in where this tag division's going, but I will tell you what I am always interested in, and they are pretty. They are deadly. Love when they get the screen time. They are making the most of it in the undercard, in the women's undercard of all undercards. It's that time. Let's talk a little Chelsea Green. Chelsea. And
Chelsea Green.
You got the secret Hervis now. We've got a name for him, for Piper and Fire.
Right.
And we get the backstage earlier this afternoon. Stupid ass thing they do every week. But we have Chelsea. We got the secret Hervis. And that's kind of hard. You got to get used to saying that.
It's too much, dude. I've forgotten already. What are they called again?
The secret, instead of service, it's Hervis. Her.
Oh, I get it. Like Hervit. I get it.
Yeah. So they got a little backstage encounter there with Zelina Vega and, damn it, their names escape me here. The little party-esque rave girls.
Oh yeah.
Carter and Chase.
I know you're
right?
talking
Carter and Chase.
Yeah, Carter and freaking
Chase.
Oh my god, what's her name, dude?
Chase or Case, one of the two. But anyway, it's with them. It doesn't matter. I'm not going to waste any more time because I'm not. My comments here have nothing to do about them.
The K sounds, that's it, but that's not their name, but that's the nicknames.
Yeah. So anyway, the secret Hervis has a tag match with them. What was the big change for the secret Hervis there, Jimmy? What was I screaming last week?
Well, actually, I've forgotten. What were you saying?
Ring attire. Ring attire.
Oh, yeah, true. That's true. And it was great ring attire, as a matter of fact. I don't like how the other two.
What did I say last week? I wanted them to look like Big Bubba. I wanted them to look like Mr. Hughes. Look like Secret Service instead of switching to their ring gear. And they did. I thought it looked great.
And thank you, Brad. Katana Chance and Kaden Carter. Once he said Carter and Chance,
I still don't care. They did nothing to stand out here. They're putting them with Zelina. I did like in this match. Piper goes out and smashes. That's what she should be doing. She's dominating.
Absolutely. Absolutely, man.
One of the only things that didn't make sense to me, and I laughed, is Vega's run-in was laughable. She's hitting a few spots in there. It seems a little stupid to me. Why didn't she just escort them to the ring? Chelsea's out there. It's already a 3-on-2. Why wouldn't you be there for the entire match?
But didn't they imply in that little segment, before that we saw, right? When they introduced themselves, whatever. Weren't they implying that, like, I remember Zelina saying, how about the three of you take on the three of us or whatever? That's what I thought I heard. And then it was a 2-on-2 match.
Yeah, that makes sense because they're still trying to give us a reason to build out. None of this is going to really do anything at WrestleMania unless it's a pre-show. Maybe we get that as a pre-show, a 6-person match. They're still trying to get Vega an opportunity there at the U.S. Championship. It's nice filler for the women's undercard. And it's always nice to see Chelsea, and I'm absolutely loving and hopefully the more potential for the secret Hervis. And I like the ring attire change there. It's, shaking it up, changing things up in the women's division. Another program we got going on as we look towards WrestleMania. We get a very emotional promo here from Naomi. Again, Bianca. When has Naomi ever done anything to hurt you? They've misled you. Why would Bianca believe that this is any different? That she went after Jade to do what's best for everybody.
And she has a point, but let's be real here, RBV. Does Bianca Belair even give a shit about this anymore? She's doing her own thing on Raw.
I told you that last week, and you kept going back to this, where somehow Bianca's going to get involved. I agree.
I agree with you now. Does she give a shit, bro? I mean, if she doesn't give a shit, why is she still talking about it?
Because it's that important to Naomi, and I think we are going to get that later. As I was sitting there, kind of looking at these things, where are we going? What kind of stories can we tell here? This is becoming an obsession. This is overwhelming Naomi's just complete life, her presence, everything that she is that she needs to eventually, beyond getting over Jade, getting that aside, she has to convince Bianca this was for her. I think post WrestleMania, we could have a very hot program between Naomi and Bianca. I still think Jade has to win at Mania. You can't have her lose on that big stage. Again, you want those visuals, things like that.
No way.
But that, and then people think, oh, okay, that's over with. You know, Jade beat her up, blah, blah, blah. I think then that next night, or later in a card, I think they'll separate those. But you have Naomi come and help Bianca win the Women's Championship.
I was thinking that, or she's gonna cost her for just ignoring her. One way or the other. Either what you said or the other way.
Well, and
Either way, she's getting involved.
Everything that Naomi is doing, even if Bianca's listening to her, is for Bianca. So continue that. Have her help Bianca win that, and Bianca again reject her, which pushes Naomi further into madness.
So are we leading to
so then I would go into a program where it is Bianca versus Naomi for a little bit, with Naomi chasing and trying to do all these things, where eventually Naomi just completely effing snaps and starts going after Bianca.
So are you saying we're gonna get HLA possibly?
Nah, I was thinking more, if I had to compare this to something from the past, is almost without the when you said HLA, so without the sexual innuendo,
you know what I'm talking about, right? Obviously,
yeah, but more of the obsession that Mickie James had with.
That's what I was gonna say. That's why I said
I thought
that.
you were just talking about straight hot lesbian action.
Yeah, but it was sort of getting to that with Mickie James, but that's what I was alluding to. It's starting to remind me of that Mickie James Trish Stratus feud back in 05.
I wouldn't make it where it seems with the sexual undertones. I mean, this is literally about a sister.
Yeah, I know, but maybe she loves him more than just a sister, dude.
Keep it in your pants, Jimmy.
Hey, dude, it's in my pants. This is about their tongues and their pillow biting over here, or whatever's going on. Yeah. I'm just saying. You know what I mean?
we do have inside, and we are working these programs together here because BFAB, right? Oh, no. We transition into this here because we get Jade backstage, BFAB and Michin kind of come by and tell Jade, hey, we support you in this. You know, go after Naomi, go get her, girl. They continue their way because we have advertised, we have Michin versus Charlotte coming up. But before we actually get to that match, Naomi attacks BFAB in the ring and takes her out. Jade makes the save. So they clear the ring together. They're actually still exiting the arena while Charlotte's coming through the entranceway.
Yeah, I mean, oh man, could we possibly get a multi-woman match even at Mania? Are they setting up with something?
No. I think this is just we're moving along here. We got things rolling. We got things working together. And it is. I mean, why just exit and then have Charlotte pause? The Queen's not going to wait. She's standing there, Gorilla. She's ready to go. So that was fine with me there. So we do have. So it's perfect transition here for us. We go into our main women's program for the Blue brand. This week it's Michin versus Charlotte. Of course, we're going to be talking about Charlotte and Tiffany Stratton. This did occur to me, and I want to ask you on this. Since her return, Charlotte's getting a lot of ring time. She's working a lot of matches in this build to WrestleMania.
And that makes sense. I mean, obviously to get the rust off, you know what I mean?
Yep. That's what I was thinking about. You know, she's been gone for a while. A lot of people, some criticized, you know, some of us talked, we were worried about it, but it was very noticeable, the changes in her.
Oh, absolutely. But you know what, dude? She's redeeming herself too, I feel.
I think she's looking, again, every week she's looking better as she comes back out there.
She is. I hate to say it, man. I hate to say it. But no shit. Every week as we get closer to Mania, she's actually looking better and better. I'm not talking about look-wise. I'm talking about her in-ring, you know, wise.
I think she's looking better look-wise than she did when she returned. It looks like mentally things are coming back to her. Even her character work, her mic work is getting back up to where it was.
Is top notch.
I don't say it's top notch, but she's getting there. And I think
when I say top notch, it's better than what she was when she first came back.
Either she realized or they realized for her to go to WrestleMania and do what she needs to do with someone as green as Tiffany, that she needs to put this time in. And that's, a little bit I was getting frustrated with the 50-50 booking style, or even when she's getting dominated a little bit, working people like Meechin, like BFAB. It might be needed just because she's trying to get out there to get those reps, get that ring time, get reacquainted with those bumps and all that to get her to where she needs to be to carry Tiffany to a fantastic match at WrestleMania.
Speaking of Tiffy time, did you notice how she acknowledged how she tried to cover up, all the bullshit that happened last week by her saying, well, she wouldn't let me talk. She wouldn't let me talk. I couldn't get a word out. And I'm thinking, oh, come on, man. You look like a friggin' amateur compared to Charlotte, unfortunately, last week for her.
They did. They had to go back and do some damage control. I like this setting. I think they knew, hey, we cannot send her out there into that arena with a live mic because, one, if she's got to go back on an exchange here with Charlotte, she might get embarrassed again. And two, you talked about the beginning of our review here. We saw at the beginning of the show, two great best in this business, Cody Rhodes and Randy Orton, having trouble controlling that audience. They would have just taken control of that segment and eaten her alive.
Oof. They did chant her name, though, to be fair. They were, chanting for her to come out. But
but they would have hijacked that thing immediately. Oh. And she's probably nervous right now. Going in there and have to do the damage control, what they gave her, she probably would have been terrified to go out there. Best setting to do that with her. But I don't think she did anything with it. My biggest my notes on this thing is I still do not see a reason that I should be rooting for Tiffany Stratton. She still comes off as that pretentious, just you want to see somebody slap her, slap the shit out of her, slap the smug off her face Valley Girl.
I feel you. I get you. You're right.
And there was nothing, what you want from that girl next door is someone that's humbled, that appreciates things.
She's not
and
humbled,
she says herself. I know she says herself here, and I kind of like the angle. And I thought maybe they feed into that. You know what, Charlotte? You are right. Maybe you're the one really that has everything to lose here. That could be brought down when you lose to me. But I am this champion. And it does mean a lot to me. And I've got these people that I hear cheering for me. They are rallying behind me. And that is giving me some empowerment. That is fueling me. And it's allowing me to see this business, this world is a different perspective than maybe I have in the past. So now she's rallying the people around her. A likable persona. There's nothing still about her. There's still nothing about her that's likable. Except for fat ass titties.
She's got a fat ass head too, sort of, if you know what I mean.
God damn, she does. Oh, they keep zooming in on her. Right? It's just...
I know. You know what's funny? The WWE 2K25 game, her head is huge, bro.
Well,
and I was like, what the fuck?
Well, even when she closes the interview, what does she close with this time? Because it's usually like, everyone knows we run on tippy time. Okay, that in itself. You pretentious bitch. All right. But even like when she Toodles, if someone in the real world said to you, Toodles, there's nothing to like about that.
Oh, God.
She doesn't understand the character. They don't understand the character.
Well, I'll tell you exactly what she said. Do you want me to tell you exactly what she said?
Toodles.
Yeah, other than that, well, she said this. She says Charlotte loves to hear herself talk, but last week she learned that walking into WrestleMania, she's not the one who has something to lose here, like you said. If she loses to Charlotte Flair, the legend, with barely a year on SmackDown. But if Flair loses, Rick, she loses to a delusional backflipping little girl, in her own words, by the way, when she hears the words, and still. And maybe, just maybe, Charlotte will finally shut up for everybody, and she's going to make damn sure Flair's massive ego stays in Vegas, and she walks out as WWE Women's Champion. Toodles.
Yeah. Okay, so essentially what she said here, now that you've read it back word for word on this, is Charlotte Flair is out there each week working to make sure she's at the top of her game.
Right.
She is the best. So if I upset her, then that's an insult slap in the face to her. So more so, I should be rooting for Charlotte here because she's out there working to defend and carry her legacy.
Right.
Where
it's an out, really.
Still, the delusional bitch.
Right. And she's actually planting it out for her to lose because then she lost to the legend, Charlotte Flair.
Yeah, so I don't know. To me, this entire program, I get they want the blondes that have carried this thing. If there's going to be a passing, I don't know. It took a while to get Charlotte back to figure out where her character's at. She understands it. She proved that last week. She was firing in that interview. 8 titty time up. Is in the ring, doing the work, dude. Getting back into where she needs to be that ring general.
And the thing is, you just know that I think WWE saw what happened last week, and they're probably going to start souring on Tiffy time, dude. I can just see Charlotte winning now. If that didn't happen, maybe that I wouldn't have felt that way. But after last week, and even this week, they don't even want to send her out there, dude. Do you know what I mean? They should tell you something.
Here's the problem with Tiffany Stratton. She is still so green in the ring. She needs to start figuring out character right now, because there is a full card of very talented women in NXT that can go in the ring that are going to be coming up hungry for those spots that might necessarily not be able to catch her when it comes to markability, to media crossover, and the character is going to be what separates them. Put her over here last week before our very eyes. In the last 2 years, she went from a girl, green as hell. I would have fired her. She grew into a woman because of character work and understanding the body language in that ring. And now her work's coming full circle in Liv Morgan. Tiffy has got a lot to learn very, very fast.
I agree. Absolutely. I just want to welcome our very own Pierce Austin saying, "G'day, sick cunts."
Yes.
You know, he's also from my neck of the woods. Sick cunts is a compliment, Rick. When he says sick cunts.
I get that. A perfect name drop there to be joining us as we transition, as we start talking about the main event scene. Pierce, a main eventer himself.
Absolutely.
Should be main eventing big shows, as he does already. I mean, he is a regular now, staple over on our primetime show, our flagship, the Friday Locker Room. Those guys had some great conversation this past week. But on this
show, by the way, Pierce, man, I like what you said about picking up chicks. It was funny. But anyway,
our new triple threat there on the Friday Locker Room. But on this edition of SmackDown, we close out with a contract signing for a big triple threat that we now know is going to main event night 1 of WrestleMania. Of course, we got the contract signing with Roman Reigns, with the wise man right there next to him, Seth freaking Rollins, and the voice of the voiceless, CM Punk, all involved in this thing.
This was Battle of the Bands, as a matter of fact, RBV.
You could tell this thing. I actually looked at this thing. What do we have? 22 minutes and about. This was a perfect example of how to take 25 minutes and say and do almost nothing.
Nothing. As a matter of fact, I don't know what feed you watched it on. Did you watch the Netflix feed of SmackDown by any chance?
Yes. Yeah, that was the replay that I got.
Good. So you saw what was going on during the commercial breaks?
Yes.
Okay, that was kind of funny with Roman, by the way. And Paul Heyman singing along as well, doing the Roman Reigns. And he was doing it too. It was kind of weird, but still kind of funny and awkward. They were just sitting there for quite a while, waiting for them to come back from commercial, just standing there in the middle of the ring, not talking or doing nothing. But still, it was just Battle of the Bands. Everyone played sing-along with every friggin' theme song with all 3 of these guys. This felt like a comedy. While one guy was crying, one guy was complaining, and the other guy was just saying, "Acknowledge me because I got you in the main event." This was weird, dude. 3 egotistical maniacs in this.
I think that's the point that we're getting here with these guys. It is a lot about ego, and there is history. All those parts kind of coming together. You know, you could remove one, and there's still great history there. But when you put all 3 together, and all those cogs are the gears are all touching and turning together, there is a lot there. There is the wild card of Paul Heyman now.
Yeah. He's got
So-
no shame either, which is weird.
And there is the little extra spice that's thrown in there about what still is this favor owed.
And why? And like, what did he do to have this type of favor? If you know what I mean. Like, what has he got over Heyman deep
No,
down?
it's because he filled in at the War Games. That's all.
No, I know that, but I feel like there's something deeper than that. Even
No,
because he got
very
what he
plain,
wanted.
They told us that he said he would partner with them at that War Games when no one else could, especially Seth Rollins, who was so adamant that nobody should ever trust or team up with Roman Reigns. And I like how,
Right.
that pushed Seth more towards that insanity. I think it's great here that this is going to be a main event thing that Paul somehow, I know obviously he's not the matchmaker, but called in some favors or persuaded the powers that be to make this a main event, but that's not quite the favor. So we're intrigued to know what that is. But Seth, as he said, he would rather die than see CM Punk in a main event. Now, I think it'd be kind of funny if Seth started petitioning to have this match be on a pre-show, just to make sure it's as far away from a main event as possible.
That would be hilarious. But they won't go. They won't think. They wouldn't have the foresight to do that. I just don't see it. But that's a great idea. It'll be funny as hell. But I don't see it. But let's be real. When Punk was crying, what I found funny was Reigns laughing. As he's crying, he's laughing. But for a moment though, it looked like they were dead, like proud of him. Even Rollins, like there was this moment where they just shut up for a second as Punk was like, getting teary and whatnot. Because I felt that was legit. I truly think that was legit tears, dude. He's finally accomplished what he's always wanted to accomplish. You know what I mean? And he's not even the champion.
I picked up a lot of it, as even, the thank you tribal chief is just the sarcasm that you get from
Oh, no,
Punk.
that was all sarcasm. That part was sarcasm. I'm talking about just the tears of Punk and Heyman kissing him on top of that and stroking his head.
Speaking of our big-time triple threats, we got Pierce, we've got MSG.
Oh, shit. All we're missing is Bin Hamin, and he's been popping up on a Raw the last 2 weeks too. Well, Matt says, I'm just saying, I called this Punk versus Roman versus Seth. Well, yeah. Of course. I mean, come on. I mean, absolutely. But Labrat also says, he goes on to say, I was waiting for a bouncing head to show up at the bottom of the screen.
I like that idea right there. The sing-along.
That would be hilarious. Like,
But yeah, I mean, there is inside of this triple threat here, there is a lot of intrigue. These guys, for the most part for Roman have been very, on the shows, very visual, helping drive this thing.
Well, Matt also says, I called this months ago, not last week.
MSG's been talking about this for a while. Like, I think I first remember him. I think he even called it talking about it before the Rumble.
Well, we did a few shows, me and MSG, the last couple of months. I'm pretty sure we spoke about it. Actually, you and I spoke about it after the fact. You messaged me about it. See, I was right a bit. This is weeks ago, though. He still had to remind me. I think it was on the Friday Locker Room. We'll talk about it when I filled in for Ben at the time.
Well, you know what?
But
it's not like there's somewhere you could go out there, or the Hamian Army could go for just $5 a month and go get that entire library and listen back through to all of the shows to see when MSG first called this thing. But I do remember him talking about this in the early part of the year. I might have been drinking at the time. So maybe it was just an alcoholic dream, a haze that I was in. No. But I do recall him talking about that prior to the Rumble.
I mean, where else was it going to go? If Roman was going to get a WWE title shot, for example, this is the most logical thing, right? I mean, it makes absolute sense. What is MSG Smack Attack will be up on Channel Attitude.
They just got to upload it on Channel Attitude after.
See, you got to catch it live, or else you know what I mean. You're out of here.
He is on it. He is absolutely on it there.
He's always on the pulse, man. Straight after the fact.
To do him a favor, we are going to move along here. So we do get the contract signing. It is set. We've been talking about this for weeks. Everyone debating what's going to main event. I think they've got it right. You've got the biggest star power in each of your main events. It's not about the championships. It's not about the equality of the sexes. It is about star power in each main event now has the top stars in the company in it.
Could this overshadow even Night 2's main event in some ways, dude? Because I feel like I'm more intrigued by this match now.
I think
than
because
even the Cena.
we're getting more in the development of the storyline here.
Right,
You
and,
know,
and
you
just
do
quietly,
have
can I
Seth
say,
and Rollins that are there each and every week. Roman's been more present here.
That's
They've
true.
been a little more energized in what they got going on. Absolutely. I think this is right now a hotter build than
It
what we
is.
got with Cody and Cena. We do have Cena's going to be there in London, so we're going to see what they
Right.
got there. Now
Same
I
old,
don't.
same old.
Now we have to
Rick.
keep an eye on because I don't know if Cena has been advertised for any other big shows until Mania.
And I'm confused. Did he not say he's going to retire at the start of the year? And by the way, where's my flowers? I predicted that Cena was going to win Elimination Chamber long before Elimination Chamber. Do you remember that? Anybody? I said it, and everyone said I'm
What?
crazy, but
Well, that has nothing to do with why we think you're fucking crazy. That's just because you're
No.
a raw
Others-
kangaroo.
wow, I did bounce around. But in saying
Oh!
that, here we go. There we go. No, but in all truth, now I forgot what I was going to say. The point is, the John Cena thing. Yeah, that's what I was saying. Didn't he say he was going to do the whole year? Correct, and then leave.
Yeah, his retirement tour goes until December.
Why am I getting the impression? And thank you, Josh, by the way. Why am I getting the impression that he's going to retire at Mania now?
I don't know. Probably because he was going to win the belt and then retire as champion. So you just equated that it's going to happen immediately. No, he's saying he is going to take that title. He's going to take that title and run with it all the way through the year until December, and then he's checking out with it.
Well, he's already checked me out because, first of all, he still hasn't explained about The Rock at all. Okay, he hasn't. Why did he join?
No, I mean his whole explanation just voided The Rock's involvement. Yeah, because this was about him and the fans. It has nothing to do with what was The Rock going to offer him, unless it was just an opening, a window. I think they were doing shit calling it on the fly, and now they're just changing some things.
So what's the fucking point then? What was the point of that at Elimination Chamber? Why?
I don't know. That's maybe why some people don't care about it, because we're not connecting the dots on a lot of things.
Bang bang. There you go. And Cena's been repeating himself the last 2 weeks. All right, before we go, because we're about to go. I just don't understand what's going on. Like, if I hear another bullshit like promo by Cena this week, and change the damn clothes and the song, come on, man.
He told you why. That's his. He's not giving you that. He's not giving you that. Your time is over, Jimmy. It's his time. His time is now.
But his time is now, right?
Yes. And they printed a whole bunch of that shit for the European tour.
I know. Talk about money fucking make. I mean, come on. I mean, this is just a scam to me. This is scam.
It's a business, Jimmy. It's a business. They had that stuff ordered before they went over there. They have to sell it. They're still buying it.
Whatever. I don't buy it. I don't buy his shirts. I don't buy him. I see him every time. I have no idea, but who cares? Whatever happens this coming Monday, hopefully we get more answers than us asking more questions, but that's our job. This is weak to me and piss poor in my opinion, but that's just me. Hopefully things change come this Monday. But anywho, Rick, I think we've covered everything, right? Is there anything else we need to touch on before we go?
I think we got it all there, brother. Everyone up to speed on this week's. We are under a month away from WrestleMania. Still a lot of questions, a lot of answers that need to be delivered, a lot of hype to get people ready to go for this thing. Seems like kind of across the board with the internet, with those in the bubble that should be the most excited. Not going on. It is exciting. I mean, media group, damn near programming every day. Things going on. They're exclusive to the YouTube or just live, and then over the channel Attitude. Go ahead and check them all out.
Absolutely, check them all out. $5. Only do you get the realest but the best talk in all of pro wrestling. $5 is all it is, and you get absolutely everything. But in saying that, like and subscribe right here at Hameen Media Group's YouTube channel, and give us a like and a share, and just get it all around, man. And just remember, if you don't catch the show live, you're more likely going to miss it, which means it's only $5. Channelattitude.com. Also, what else is there? Oh, yes.
Nothing. Wrap it up before we get called into HR.
don't make me laugh. But in saying that, also like and subscribe at HamidMediaGroup.podbean.com for all our affiliate shows. And I think that's a wrap anyway. So in saying that, I am Jimmy T. That is my co-host R to the B to the V. And you've been listening and watching the Smack Attack right here on Hamid Media Group's YouTube channel. Of course, on the Twitch and channelattitude.com after the fact. And we're out.
Yeah, cut this like your name is Gabby.
Talk about HR. I mean, Matt's on my back already, dude. Yes, it's original. You were bopping to this last time, remember? We started doing reggae singing. But anyway, in saying that, peace out. Thank you to everyone that joined us. Until next time, peace.
Your voice, your right, your freedom.